Hello, my crafty friends. It's Michelle, the Southern Shell, and it is day 5 of our 12 Days of Christmas collaboration. This is also the first of the month collaboration, which has stretched out over 12 days from October 1st through October 12th, and every day is a different theme. This day, today, is gingerbread. We have our hosts, Brenda with Rustic and Lace DIY, and Jackie with Crafting in Mimi's World. Both of these ladies are wonderful and amazing, gifted crafters, and their channels will be linked in my description box below, as well as the playlist of all the other creators that are joining this collaboration. Let's get started. So, I went through my material and I have a bunch of material and scraps. And I took you can take a coloring page, you can draw your own. And all I did is I went ahead and drew out the shape of a gingerbread. Use a coloring book, it doesn't matter. And I cut it out and then I pinned it to my material. And I went ahead and cut out 4 pieces of that. This material is thick and it's almost like a crushed velvet, but this color was perfect for what I was looking for. I did start with Fabri-Tac, and for some reason with this material, it was not holding. So I just went ahead and grabbed my hot glue gun. You can also sew this. I didn't feel like dragging my sewing machine out because this is supposed to be just a quick craft for you. So I used hot glue. Simple, easy, no problems. I glued almost all the way around. I left the little bottom crotch open here on both of my little cutouts, and then I just stuffed in some fluff. I usually get pillows from Walmart and they're really inexpensive, and then I just pull the fluff out and use that for stuffing. If I were to do large projects, of course, I would go ahead and just order a big tub of fluff, but I keep a pillow around for my small projects, and it's super economic. So I went ahead and just used a skewer and stuffed this little guy the best I could. I didn't want him too much because I'm doing a primitive look here. And that's why it was glued together. And instead of turning it right side out, I just glued my wrong sides together. And that way I have that rustic look on the outside of my gingerbread. Once I get around to the side, I stuff that leg and I pull the best I can there and then add some hot glue, pull it tight and squeeze it together. This material is actually pretty thick, so I didn't worry about the hot glue poking on through and burning me. I didn't have any issues with that at all. But do be careful. Use a silicone spatula if you need to, or those finger protectors. I have been crafting for years and I was also a caterer, and so my fingers are pretty well conditioned for the heat. So once I get this all stuffed and done, I went ahead and seal it all up real well there with that hot glue, and then I will just go around and make sure I don't have anything hanging out that does not need to be hanging out. So I'm coming around and I'm just trimming off some little bits and pieces there. Some of the glue just kind of pushed out, so that was easy enough for me to trim off. And then I'm just squishing him around so that he looks and feels nice and fluffy. So I have my Mementos walnut stain here, and I went around just the edges. Now I have it sitting on top of a piece of foam, and it's really slick foam that was used in a packaging. So as I'm putting this down, you can see that the ink is there on that foam piece. And what I do after this is all done is I can now pick up my gingerbread and rub it across the top of that. And now I will have that, look at that, just enough on those to make them look so just vintage and rustic, definitely primitive. So these molds, these candy pieces here, are from IOD molds, and it was the gingerbread mold that I actually used on these. And I went ahead and just covered them first in some white chalk paint. Just wanted a nice coat down. Then I'm coming in with this pink sky, and it is darker than that pink cloud. And I went ahead and just put a nice coat over the tops of those. And I didn't do full coverage. I just wanted to hit those tops to make that those ridges show up more, the detail in those candies. And once I got those all done, I went ahead and came in and just made sure that all those little cracks had a little darker. You see, I'm touching up a little darker on the ends of that candy there, just so that it has a little bit more like when you have a wrapped candy and all of the cellophane is at the ends. That's usually a bit darker, especially if your cellophane is red. So I just came in and did that, made sure that I had some of those dark spots on there. And then I have some of my antique wax here, and I'm just going to use my fingers, guys, because this is a quick one. And guess what? Gosh, imagine that. I mean, I do come in and use a brush here in a minute to get into some of the cracks that my chubby little fingers don't make it into. But this was so easy just to dip my finger and rub it across the top of those things, across the top. Now here I'm coming in with my little paintbrush, getting down into the cracks right there where more of that shadow would be. Okay, so I have this beautiful black satin ribbon, and it's just simple satin ribbon. It is a third, about a third of an inch wide, not very thick. And I'm just tying a bunny ear bow. Just tie it there. Now I tied one with the right side facing up, and then I tied one with the wrong side facing up. These satin ribbons do have a right and a wrong side. One is shiny, that's your right side, and then the matte side is your back side. I really liked the way the matte looked because of the fact that this was a primitive type gingerbread. So I took the other one apart and just tied it again with that flat side showing. I used my Beacons 3-in-1 instead of Fabri-Tac because I was having issues with the Fabri-Tac sticking to this material. So I just didn't even try at that point and came in with my Beacons 3-in-1. Now I have my DIY paint and little black dress, and I'm just going along the edges of the back so that I have a little bit of that black pop up. Because of the black bow, when I put that candy down on top of my gingerbread, it just like disappeared. The colors are very muted, and I didn't want them to be bright, but I didn't want them to disappear into the gingerbread either. So I'm using the 3-in-1, and I put the 3-in-1 on the top and the bottom of my candy cane. And then I just came in with a my hot glue gun, and put some right in that centerpiece right there. That way, that hot glue is going to hold my candy cane down long enough for that Beacons 3-in-1 to grab and take hold. So now I'm just going to come in with my other little candy pieces and put them on the opposite foot of each of my gingerbread. Put that Beacons 3-in-1 on the top, and I just threw some of that hot glue across the bottom there so that it had something to hold on to while it was drying onto my gingerbread. I did the same thing with my little candies there, putting the hot glue on the wrapper ends. Now I'm going to come in with plaster. This is my watered down plaster, and I just using the back of a stencil brush because these little guys need some eyes. They looked so sad without a face. So I just came in with the end of my stencil brush and just dotted some eyes for these little guys. I'm a poet. So I went ahead and came in with a thinner brush after my eyes, and I'm going to go ahead and just draw on a little bit of a mouth here. I'm going to just do some dashes first, and I can get my mouth right where I want it. And then I'm going to come in and just fill that dash in and create just a solid mouth on our gingerbread. I'm loving the way these are turning out, and I hope you're enjoying this too. I went ahead and came back in with a very small paintbrush, and I'm just going to go up through the creases on my candy my candy cane and my peppermint right there. And that way I'm going to have where it is the plaster color, it's not going to be stark, but it is still going to have that rustic primitive look on it. Guys, this collaboration has been so much fun. It is keeping me on my toes. I do love this so much. Christmas is some of the favorite. I love just to create Christmas. It's one of my favorite times a year. Just the birth of our Lord and just enjoying the Christmas crafts and all of the fun stuff that comes with it. Uh, Tell me what you guys think. So, once these candies are all highlighted and done, I did come back in with some more of that pink sky. And I shook it up real well. And then I'm going to come in once again with my stencil brush and use the back side. And I'm coming in with the pink first right there. And I'm going to go ahead and put the buttons down the front. And it blended in really well with that gingerbread color. So I came back in where the paint wasn't quite mixed on my lid there. And I just am laying over another dab on top of those pinks that I have on there. There you have it. What do you think? There you have it, my crafty friends. Look at those cute little gingerbread men and the little girl. Now, these were easy to make. You can sew them, you can glue them. And my husband's over here rubbing my back trying to distract me. I guess he did. Of course, the little resin pieces of the candies we put on there and scruffing up that material and making it look very vintage, rustic. And here we go. Guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I know your time is precious and I appreciate you spending time with me. Guys, if you like this, please give me a thumbs up. If you've not subscribed, I hope you will consider doing so now by hitting that subscribe button. Hit that bell notification and YouTube should notify you the next time I have a video going live. As always, guys, stay safe, God bless, and bye for now.